Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the F&O show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Akil. Here are the headlines. The weekly options expiry has begun on a somber note. The Nifty trades with a negative bias around 11,250. Most sectoral indices are trading with losses. Torrent Pharma and Indiabulls Housing Finance are seeing a surge in open interest. Both stocks trade with cuts and seeing fresh short positions. Reliance Jio will now charge users 6 paise per minute for voice calls made to rival phone networks. Bharti Airtel is among the top gainers on the Nifty. And Indiabulls Housing Finance is trading with losses after the RBI rejected its proposed merger with Lakshmi Vilas Bank.
All right, those are your top headlines at this hour. Let's also tell you what's happening on this weekly options expiry day. You have both the Nifty as well as the Bank Nifty options that will be expiring. So ahead of that, of course, after yesterday's stellar rally, we are seeing cool off for our markets. Nifty is down about 40 points in trade, though it's still trading around its 200-day moving average of 11,266. Sensex down 140 points in trade. And remember, Bank Nifty had a massive rally of 1,000 points yesterday, so it's already given up 50% of yesterday's gain as Bank Nifty currently trades with cuts of over 500 points. And looking at the broader markets, they too have succumbed to selling pressure today. The mid-cap index is down 0.7% and 0.25% loss seen for Nifty small cap index. Pull up the market breadth as well, which tells you what's happening with the entire listed universe. It's largely in favor of the declines as we speak. So for the broader markets also, the picture is not looking great. Agam highlighted in the headlines that majority of your sectoral indices are trading with cuts. So you've got the likes of Nifty Bank, PSU Bank, Nifty Realty Index is also seeing cuts of nearly 2%, and you've got the Metals Index, which is down about 1.5%. Nifty IT, which was down yesterday, so that's the lone index today, which is seeing some bit of gains. Remember, heavyweight TCS comes out with its earnings post-market hours, so that will have some bit of weightage there. India Volatility Index is up almost 0.5%, so it still continues to be at elevated levels of about 17 to 17.5. But what levels to watch out today, at least on Nifty, as you can see, if you pull up the options data, the maximum open interest on the call side was somewhere about 11,500, then 400. But right now there is a lot of call riding, which is coming for 11,300 strike today. Almost 20 lakh shares have been added, and of course the premium has fallen there by about 35 to 36 rupees, whereas unwinding seen for 11,300 put, giving you an indication maybe expiry can take place below that mark. But 11,400 is where the 100-day moving average is. In case if there is any sort of recovery, that should be a first resistance mark. And on the lower side, I think 11,200 can be watched out. For Bank Nifty, we've already breached the first support, which was somewhere about 28,500 for the day, as the index is trading somewhere about 28,200. The next level on the downside support will come in at about 28,000. Agam.
Okay, well, on that note, let's take a look at all the stocks which are buzzing in trade as well on the back of change in open interest. And of course, once again, that list will be long, but we do have some stocks out there which are volatile. Torrent Pharma is, of course, under pressure. That's down 2.5% after, well, challenges with the US FDA. There's a 72% increase in open interest there. Indiabulls Housing Finance now inching lower. It's down 12% now. There's an increase of 25% in open interest. The reaction, the decline has not been as sharp as what one might expect, considering there were all sorts of numbers being thrown, but it's still down as much as 11% for now. Just Dial is also under a tad bit of pressure after seeing some gains yesterday. Well, there is some sort of build up as far as open interest is concerned, as is the case for IGL, but towards gaining. So it's up around 2%, and Siemens, of course, is the other one which is also in focus. Not too much change as underlying, but, well, 8.5% increase in open interest. What about those stocks which are seeing unwinding, if any? There is Century Textiles, which did see a very sharp up move yesterday. There's clearly long unwinding coming through today. Vodafone Idea, on the other hand, is looking at short covering, of course, a sharp up move here. And then you, of course, have the likes of NIT Technologies, GMR in front. Bajaj Finserv, not too much to speak for there otherwise. But on the whole, Well, we keep an eye on the telecom stocks, and of course, we'll also be talking about some of the IT stocks along with IndusInd Bank, even as earnings come through. But what else are we tracking, Naveen?
Well, just to alert our viewers, Agam, today all the contracts in the futures and options market for Century Textiles will expire because tomorrow is the date when it goes ex. Remember, its cement business is getting demerged, and that will subsequently get merged with Ultratech, and the record date is 14. So because of that, all the contracts will expire. Yesterday also we did see on the stock future side, open interest was down 35%, and today also likely the same trend will continue. But on the show today, we will be discussing stocks like Bharti Airtel, which has surged for the third straight day, and the stock has been trading above all its key moving averages. And the move, of course, comes in after Reliance Jio has increased tariff. So we'll see whether this cascading effect continues, whether the incumbents also go ahead and increase tariff or not. Torrent Pharma on the other side, I think it's off the opening low so far, but it's still trading in the red after the US FDA has issued a warning letter to its Gujarat plant. And look at the other stock, I think IGL, which has been trading above all its moving averages, and there is both Agam price as well as open interest action seen at least in the opening session for IGL, indicating there are some longs being taken.
Well, on that note, it's time to get in our experts. But before that, here's a reminder, if you have any queries regarding futures and options, you can call us on 022-4540-4141. Or, of course, write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube with the AskBQ hashtag. Today, we have with us Brijesh Singh of Stock Axis and Ashish Chaturmota of Sanctum Wealth Management joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for taking the time out. Ashish, where do we go from here? You seem constructive on the indices.
Good morning, Agam. So yes, I think as we have been maintaining this view since the time Nifty has crossed this 10,850 mark, and in the first rally also we indicated 11,500 because there was an inverted head and shoulder formation, and even now also I think after some retracement of this up move, I think we are quite constructive about the index. We believe till 11,100 is not broken. Indices are headed towards higher levels, and on upside we believe 11,600, 700 is something which one can expect at an index level in next couple of few trading sessions. But since today is being expiry, we believe that 11,240 itself is going to be an important support level. If we don't see a break below 11,240 zone, then I think index might try to see some kind of recovery towards 11,320 to 350 kind of area. So this is a view for intraday based on expiry, but positionally we believe that 11,100 is going to be in very important support, and this is going to be a buy and dips market for an up move extending towards 11,600 to 700 zone.
All right, so Ashish, maintaining that the markets have bottomed out, and watch out for 11,100. That's also the level, by the way, from where index took a U-turn yesterday. That happens to be the 50-day moving average. Hi, Brijesh, good morning. Are you taking any fresh positions today after the cool off that we've seen? Yesterday was a good day, but today being the weekly options expiry day, we can expect a bit of volatility also to kick in. Would you take any fresh bet on either Nifty or in Bank Nifty?
Good morning. I would say no doubt there would be a volatility of the expiry, but if you look at the trend, the trend right now, Nifty has been hovering in the 200 symbol moving average on a future as well as on a cash segment. So if we take about the future, then the future 200 simple moving average lies somewhere around 11,290, and if we take about cash, then it is somewhere around 11,266. No doubt we have seen a strong pullback because of the Reliance. Yesterday, Reliance, after making a low of 1295, sudden sharp increase has been there before the announcement have come, and today gap opening has been there and has been trading above the key moving averages and resistance zones, making the probability of the Nifty moving up. But the only concern regarding with the Nifty to move up is the banking index. No doubt we have seen 1,000 plus rally yesterday, and today we are seeing a profit booking, so which might make a little bit difficult for a rally to move up. So keeping that thing in our mind, and regarding with the 200 simple moving average, what I'm thinking that purely for an intraday perspective, if anyhow Nifty trades above 11,300 zone, keeping a strict stop loss of 11,300, one can go for on a sell side and play for the target of 11,200.
Okay, well, so Brijesh is looking at selling futures at this point in time. Of course, a cautious view coming in there. But Brijesh, good morning. I'll come back to you on stocks. How are you dealing with them? What are you tracking today?
Good morning, Agam. See, my first stock which I am looking is an ITC. Now, the ITC, after making a high of 264, we are seeing a profit booking, and the rally which has started from a level of 237, if I am not mistaken, or 234 was the 52-week low, and from there we have seen a rally to 264.30 point. Now we are seeing that rally it fizzle out. So and even the stocks is been trading below its key moving averages on the hourly chart, followed by the increase in volumes and the negative divergence been found in the oscillator front on the hourly charts. To sum up, which indicates that the stock is in the bear grip right now. So somewhere around 244 or 245, the stock has been quoting. So one can go on a sell side with the stop loss of 250, play for the target of 240. Even the target can be extended to the level of 237. And the second buy call or second call on a buy side is IGL. The stock on a shorter term time frame of the chart has already made a cup and handle pattern, or if we take the 30-minute charts, is in the process of making the rounding bottom and is eager to break its 52-week high, and that 52-week high is somewhere around 372. So presently somewhere around 366 or 367 the stock is being quoting. So present rate can be used for accumulation purpose with the stop loss of 358, play for the target of 380. Even the target can be extended to the level of 385 to 388. Time frame to hold both the counter would be at least 4 to 5 trading session.
All right. In fact, IGL featured in our list as well. The stock's touched 52-week high. It's up for the third straight day. And remember, today we've seen both. There is price action. The stock's up 3%. But even on the open interest side for IGL's stock future, we are seeing some bit of long positions also coming by. All right. So those are two calls coming in from Brijesh. Ashish, what about you? Two longs and one short for the day?
Yeah, so I think we are quite positive about the consumption theme, and within that basket we like many stocks, maybe names from Asian Paint, Voltas, Berger, Bata, or even for that matter in the FMCG basket names like Hindustan Lever or Nestle. But since we have to restrict to some few ideas, so I think within that basket Asian Paint would be my preferred bet. 1740 would be my trading stop loss. I believe stock is poised for a stronger up move towards 1820 to 1830 in a very short term time frame. Again, Voltas is also coming into the list, where we have seen a massive OI build up in last couple of trading sessions, a strong breakout on weekly and monthly charts. 670 would be my trading stop loss. On upside, 700 is a short term target in Voltas as well. And we are quite positive about even the insurance basket. So I think after some correction now, ICICI Pru is also offering a very good risk reward. So one can take a bet here also with a stop below 444. On upside, 470 is a short term target one can expect in ICICI Pru. On short side, I think metals, despite whatever said and done, are not showing really great strength. Every rise in market, they see some knee-jerk reaction, and then we see a major sell-off. So I think they are short candidate, and within that, JSW Steel is looking quite weak. 214 would be my trading stop loss for going short in JSW Steel. On downside, 200 is a short-term target one can expect in the stock.
Okay, well, Brijesh spoke about IGL, so I'll take IGL up with Ashish as well, because that is one stock that we wanted to address. Indraprastha Gas is showing a lot of strength as of at this point in time. We've had a whole host of analysts who come on, Bloomberg Edge as well, who have spoken about IGL. It's currently up as much as 3%, and of course, Brijesh has already suggested that he is looking to go long on this one. Let's also, see if there is another perspective that Ashish can give us out here. Ashish, what's your view on IGL? How would you trade this one? Levels that you'd watch out for?
So we like IGL. In fact, this is a stock which is making continuously a 52-week high with very strong OI setup addition. I think stock is poised for a stronger up move towards 400 positionally in a short term. Maybe 385, 386 could be looked as a short term target. On downside, I think stock has given a major breakout. So I think one can keep 360 as a trading stop loss for going long into IGL.
Okay, that's IGL for you. Last 12 months, the stocks rallied nearly 60%, and of course, it's been trading above all its key moving averages. That one hits 52-week high, and the other stock which has hit 52-week high today is Bharti Airtel. So that's one of the top Nifty gainers for the day. And not to forget, the stock rallied 5% even in yesterday's session. It might have cooled off from the opening highs, but it's still sitting with gains about nearly 4%. 373 is where it's trading. 52-week high today was about 385. On the future side, long build-up seen. The stock's up about 6%. The open interest right now is up about 6%. Brijesh, considering the move that we've seen today as well as yesterday, and invariably whenever there's been any sort of price increase seen for Bharti Airtel stock, that usually fizzles out in the next 5 to 6 sessions. But tell us, it has hit 52-week high. It's been trading above all its key moving averages. At current levels, how are you viewing the trade? Would you advise someone to take a bet on the long side?
See, Navneet, the stock had, if we take a weekly chart, so the stock had made the high in 2017 at somewhere around 518, and after that it made a low of somewhere around of 254 in October 2018. So if we draw Fibonacci retracements, 50% retracement value comes around 387, and if I am not mistaken, today 50-week high was somewhere around 385. Right now, on a shorter term time frame of the chart are suggesting that there is a distribution going on. So at the present rate, I would not be going long. No doubt the trend is on the bull side, but the risk reward ratio is not in the favor of a bull. So at present rate, I would be avoiding. If we take about the support which can be kept as a stop loss, it lies somewhere around 352 to 355 band. So if we trade somewhere around, say, 365 or 366, then one can take a long position with a strict stop loss of 355 and look for the target of 390 followed by 405. But at the present rate, I would be avoiding.
Okay, well, that's your view on Bharti Airtel, and the other stock that we want to address is Torrent Pharma. There are, of course, US FDA challenges here. The stock is down just 2%. But, you know, I was talking to Darshan, who looks at the space very closely, and he was of the opinion that the reason why a lot of analysts are not giving it a significant discount is because a lot of the issues with respect to the US FDA were largely out in the open. Well, of course, it's issued a warning letter in its Indra plant in Gujarat, and it has slipped below its 100-daily moving average. But we're not looking at a significantly sharp decline. And the reason behind that is, as you can see, and on a 12-month chart, you have seen that drop of somewhere around April, May, June. And that, to a certain extent, has largely already factored in several of the issues that the company may have faced. You were saying something, Navneet?
Yep, I was just saying, if you can throw in Aurobindo Pharma, we were putting out a flashes a while back. I think that's the other stock which has slipped after tumbling 18% on Monday.
Yeah.
They
Right.
too were issued some observations in Form 83. There were 7 observations. Clarification came in. The observation were not related to data integrity, but once again the stocks come under pressure.
Yep. So, well, let's take this up. Let's take up Torrent Pharma. First, Ashish, clearly no significant, no sharp, decline there.
Yeah.
How would you read into this, and what are the levels that you'd watch out for?
So it's good sign. In fact, if you look at the build-up is 72% and the price is down 1.5%. After seeing an intraday low of 1560, we are now close to almost 1640. So almost 100 rupee kind of rally from the lows. Whatever market opening, weakness was there, it has been bought into. So I think it doesn't mean that we are going to have a buy call, but the point is, based on the news, it's going to be very tricky to short this stock. So avoid it. I think, if you look at Aurobindo Pharma, see, that is how the stock reacts when there is a negative news. It doesn't give you an opportunity and there is a continuous fall. So that's not the case with Torrent Pharma. So I would avoid any bet, particularly any short bet in Torrent Pharma.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on the pharma space. Let's quickly start taking our viewer queries as well. Our first query on YouTube comes in from Anand. He wants views on Bank Nifty levels today. He's sold 28,500 call at 100 rupee premium, and I guess the premium right now is somewhere about 60 to 65. So he's in the money right now. Brijesh, what would you advise him to do? Wait out till the end of the day, or he should just book out right now?
28,500 call?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he's written the call at 100 rupee premium, which is now quoting at 70.75.
See, no doubt, what I have said in the show earlier, that Bank Nifty, after making a 1,000-point rally, and now the main culprit for a downside would be a Bank Nifty only. So I would be suggesting at the present rate, one can look out to book partial profit, or even if he wants, then he can hold on. Chances are that Bank Nifty might try to trade somewhere around 28,100 to 28,200 is the support zone, so where he can book his profit in it.
Okay. Well, another question coming in on YouTube from Puneet SV. He says that he has a long position in Berger Paints at 435. And he wants to know if there is more upside, or should he book profits. That's the question here. Berger Paints is actually currently trending at 457, so he's clearly making a significant amount of profit at this point in time. There is, of course, an addition of around 8-9%. Ashish, because you have a positive view on Asian Paints, my question to you is that would you ask him to hang on to his position and trail stop losses, or do you think that there is not as much upside in Berger Paints now, and hence you would ask him to shift to Asian Paints perhaps?
So I have a positive view on the entire consumption theme, first of all. So I think, since because of the because we cannot give calls on each and every stock, but I believe that both these stocks are looking very promising, whether it's Asian Paint or Berger Paint. Now, Berger Paint particularly 9% kind of OI addition, strong weekly and monthly breakout, pole and flag formation, all put together is definitely a strong candidate. I think what he should do is trail his stop loss to its buying price, which is around 435, and I think this up move has a potential to extend towards 460, 465 in a shorter term time frame. But I think he should ride this trend rather than be in a hurry to book gains.
Okay.
All right, both Berger as well as Asian Paints have been trading at their all-time high levels. Let's move on and take a query. This one's on, I think there was a query on Nalco. Yes, Santosh Shinde has written to us and he's asking if this is the right time to go long on this stock. And specifically, I think he wants a view if we can take a position for the 47 call strike for the November series. I think he wants to know. Brijesh, I'll come to you for Nalco. It was exhibiting a bit of strength. I think one of the days this week, the stock rallied on Monday, I think 3% when the markets were lower. How is it looking on the charts? Would you advise someone to buy a call here, especially the 47 strike?
See, Navneet, overall the trend of the chart is being positive till stock trades above 41. So right now, looking at cash segment, the stock is quoting somewhere around 44 rupees 50 paisa, and downside support lies somewhere around 41. Whereas on the higher side, it's been concerned, no doubt, 48 to 49.5 or say 50 would be acting as a resistance. So I would not be suggesting to look out to buy a 47 call rather than out of the money. It is better if he wants to play than buy the present at the money call with the stop loss of 41. And play for that, as I have said, play for the target of 48. So when your cash price moves up, you would be making a profit in it.
Okay, well, we have another question from Tanmay Jadhav. This one is on Reliance Industries, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's advancing in trade today, and it is also one of the top gainers. He's bought the 1360 call at 32 in the series. His question is, should I book profit or hold on? Is there a possibility of going up till 1400? That's the question. Ashish, what's your view on Reliance Industries, and should he hold on to this 1360 call? He's paid a premium of 32, it's currently quoting at 40.
Yeah, so I think he should, because this has given a very strong weekly breakout, and I think this trend looks quite promising. In fact, if any recovery in the market, if it has to come, I think it will be led by Reliance, and I believe 1375 to 1380, at least in this expiry, is what I'm looking for. Positionally, I'm quite positive. I think 1440, 1450 is possible in say next 1 month's time frame, but I don't know whether it will be within this expiry or not. But definitely another 20 to 30 rupees upside from these levels could not be ruled out in Reliance, and which will be quite positive for this option, because this option will become in the money option, and in that case, the delta of that option could be closer to 80-90%. So a 10 rupee up move in Reliance will lead at least 7 to 8 rupees kind of uptick in this option premium. So I think keeping that in mind, he should continue. What should be the stop loss? I think till Reliance doesn't break 1340, he should continue riding this this trend in options.
Okay.
All right, so hold on to your position in Reliance, but as indicated by Ashish, monitor the stop loss at around levels of 1340. All right, let's address a query on Tata Elxsi. Remember, the stock was pretty weak in yesterday's session. It was down about 6%. Krishna has bought. He's taken position at the strike 620. He's bought the put after paying a premium of 22. He wants to know if he should stay put or he should look to book profits, because the current premium on that strike is 27.6. Brajesh, looking at yesterday's weakness and also today the stock's been trading in the negative territory, do you expect more downside? If yes, what should be the target? Where should he look to book his profit?
See, Navneet, as you have said, the trend is looking weak on the chart. The stock was been trading in the range of 620 on a downside, followed by 700 or 705 on the higher side. Now, today the stock has been trading near the lower band of the range of 620. More probability has been there of breaking the lower band. Why? Because the volume has been increased. The oscillators were been trading in the overbought zone. Now they are have already given a signal of going short. So I would be suggesting to hold on to your short position or whatever you have bought in the put of say 27 rupees. Right now it's been quoting of 620 rupees. Downside, I am looking stock at least going and touching a level of 580 to 585 band. So where he can book his profit. So suggestion are hold on to your put position in it.
Okay, and before we wrap, I think it may be worthwhile to take a look at Indiabulls Housing Finance, which is currently trending near day's lows. It's down 11%. Ashish, a quick word on this one. What's the view forward? There's clearly a lot of shorts coming in through the system.
Yeah, so it's now close to 2014 lows, and whatever in the history we have seen since the time I've been tracking markets, I've realized that once a stock gives a breakdown of 3-year, 4-year, 5-year kind of breakdowns, generally those stocks have not seen major recovery. There are always in between pullbacks. This is what you have witnessed in stocks like Vakrangi, PC. They might give you almost 100% return from an intermittent low, but eventually when you see the stock is down 70-80%.
Right.
So the point is, since Indiabulls is continuously making a lower top, lower bottom formation, has broken multi-month, multi-year lows, I think I would avoid any kind of bet, particularly on the long side. There can be intermittent pullback, but that should be used only to reduce your long exposures.
2014 was the last time we saw Indiabulls Housing Finance trade at these levels. So there certainly is significant weakness at this point in time. And of course, you should take advice from Ashish, as he has suggested, avoiding this particular stock altogether. But we've run out of time on the show, so I'm going to take a moment to thank both our experts, Brajesh and Ashish, for joining us and taking the time out. Of course, hosting a whole host of queries from our viewers. But for more updates on the F&O space, you can also check our website, BloombergQuint.com, specifically the futures and options pages.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O show. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint for more news and updates.